Dumela moithuti wa Setswana. Ke tshepa o siame tsala ya me. Ke siame le nna. Ke batla go tlhalosa sengwe. Ke kopa o reetse tsala ya me TT pele ke simolola.
Dumela, welcome back to Setswana class. Okay, a little while ago I did a video about the difference between Setswana that is spoken in South Africa and the one that is spoken in Botswana. And I used Mosima Imane, a South African politician who was in Botswana for the inauguration of the president, and he was on national television speaking in Setswana to the journalists. And he was using his normal South African Setswana while the journalist was using Setswana from Botswana. And they could understand each other properly, but fine. But what I was using in that video was just telling you guys that, like picking out some words that he said that I pointed out that you wouldn't normally use them in Botswana. People will understand you, but we don't use those words like how they use them in South Africa. So if you have not watched that video, fine, because SJ has compiled a video where he analyzes all the difference between these two Setswanas. And I do hope that you will enjoy watching this. And if you're interested in watching my videos as well, you can go to, what is the name of my channel now? Setswana for Beginners, that's the name of the channel, or you can search Proud Tswana. I'm sure one of my videos will pop out, and you'll be able to learn a little bit of Setswana from Botswana if you are in South Africa, or if you are interested in going to Botswana and you're watching SJ's video. Okay, and also now I'm focusing on like just the Setswana videos. If you have kids that you want them to get to watch Setswana videos without having to be interpreted between two languages, then you are in luck, because I'm making fun music for little kids to understand. My kids enjoy that kind of music, so I hope that your kids will enjoy that kind of music too, because it's fun, it's silly, and it's very educational, and it's in Setswana. So yeah.
Thank you, TT. Before going in too deep, let me explain that Setswana is a uniform language throughout all the regions where it is spoken. So you would understand each other even if you are from different regions. Similar to how an English speaker from Australia, perhaps, would understand an English speaker from South Africa, despite the differences in pronunciation, vocabulary, and geography. Even though they are speaking the same language, it does sound different, and that happens from country to country. Now, the same is the case with Setswana. When you speak what you learn from me, TT, Lusika Wrights, or other teachers, you will be understood by people from Botswana and South Africa. It doesn't matter. The language is the same, with just minor regional influences. When I say South Africa, I am referring to several places where you can find Botswana. Most of them are in the Northwest Province and the Northern Cape. In fact, this is the largest concentration of Botswana that you can find anywhere. Those ones in the Northwest and the Northern Cape. In the Free State Province, in the area called Thaba Nchu, not too far from the city of Bloemfontein, there is a good-sized Setswana-speaking community which is nestled among the Basotho. There are also parts of the Mpumalanga province that have large Setswana-speaking communities, such as the area of Moretele. Of course, there are people who speak Setswana in the Gauteng province. There you will find there are all languages spoken there. All these areas make Setswana a largely spread out language. All in all, there are about 4 million Batswana in South Africa alone, spread over many areas, and there is also a large number of Batswana in Botswana. It is not surprising that there are words that would not be used in one region while they are acceptable in another. Not used in Botswana, but acceptable in South Africa, or vice versa. Now, Batswana settled over a large area across Botswana in South Africa, even spreading up to Namibia and Zimbabwe. But because they were few, they settled far from each other in disjointed chieftaincies. They never came under one kingdom. This is why there are differences there and there in how they chose to call some items and use some words. The differences, as you will see, are mainly vocabulary based. The sentence structure remains the same, as well as the other linguistic aspects. Because of these minor regional-based differences, people tend to ask the question, why does it seem like Setswana is different from area to area? Or more precisely, why does it seem like Setswana is different depending on whether you are in Botswana or South Africa? This presentation is only a short explanation of a very deep topic. First, I want to help you understand the one concept that makes it seem like Setswana is more languages in one. The one concept that makes it seem like Setswana is more languages in one is a linguistic concept that is called dialect. If you understand this concept, you will understand what I'm talking about. In order to explain dialect, I sought the help of ChatGPT with the prompt, "What is a dialect?" This is the response from the AI tool. It says, in linguistics, a dialect is a variety of a language used by a particular group of people. It usually differs from other varieties in pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, expressions, or idioms. ChatGPT goes on to say, a dialect is still part of the same language, but it reflects the speech habits of a region. That is very important. A region, community, or a social group. It is important to note that no dialect is better or worse than another. Each one is simply a natural form of the language shaped by a culture, history, and everyday use. That being the case, a dialect can be understood as a localized form of a particular nation's language that is used in part of that nation's country or by a tribe of that nation. Essentially, it is used by a subset of that nation. A particular tribe in one region may name a certain bird, for instance, according to what it eats, while another tribe of the same nation in another region may name that same bird according to how it flies or the sound that it makes. So the same bird will be called by different names in each of the regions. That is how dialects come about. The words are confined to each area. An example of a language that has different dialects besides Setswana is English, both within England and internationally. In England, the people's way of speaking is influenced by the area of the country where they come from, or the level of education. The commonly used English dialect is the Queen's language. This dialect is the one that is used when writing in English, meaning that the dialect is used for education. This is the dialect that we are taught in school. Another English dialect is the Yorkshire dialect, which is spoken in the north of England. It is unique to the north of England. There are other dialects as well that you may look up. However, I do trust that it makes sense thus far. Also remember, people in Britain and the USA have some differences in how they call certain things. Yet they can speak to each other with understanding without the need for translation. So that is an example of the concept dialect. Let us now see how dialects developed in Setswana. As with English, Setswana has regional variations. Also, as is the case with English, Setswana has a central literary dialect. It borrows from all the dialects. Someone who has extensive training in the language is more fluent in this dialect. You would not see actually written literature in the other dialects that we are going to look into just now, only in this one. That is the dialect I focus on when I teach, because it is understood throughout. The variations in the dialects were influenced by historical factors and interaction with other ethnic groups such as the San, the Khoikhoi, who are the First Nations of the southern part of Africa. Now, you may have heard of the Bantu migration. The people who ended up being called Batswana were part of that. When the Bantu arrived in the southern part of Africa, they did not have words for some of the things they found here. The flora, the fauna, the environmental factors and so on. So they derived such words from the people they found here. That would be the San, the Khoikhoi, the Nama. I would venture to say the Damara. I just don't have historical backing on this one, but those are the First Nations that they found when they came here. The first people to occupy the southern part of Africa. Because Batswana were spread out and not a cohesive group, some Batswana tribes picked up words from the San, some from the Khoikhoi, others from the Nama, and so on. As can be seen, the influence of the language came from varying sources, hence regional differences in pronunciation and vocabulary. The San, the Khoikhoi, and the Nama had different words for the same things. Remember, they spoke their own languages. The San had languages, the Khoikhoi had languages, and the Nama and so on. So this means that as one Setswana tribe would be interacting with the San, another would be interacting with the Nama. This is what led to the Setswana tribes adopting differing words for the same things for which they did not have words before arriving here. Some Batswana tribes settled in the north of the river Molopo, which is the present-day Botswana, while others in the south of the river, meaning South Africa. The Molopo forms part of the colonial border between Botswana and South Africa, which still exists today. The main tribes in Botswana are Bangwato and Bangwaketi. Bakhatla and Bakwena transcend the border between Botswana and South Africa. in South Africa, you find the Eastern Tswana tribes in places such as Hammanskraal and the environs. Also in places such as Rustenburg, even as far as Pretoria and the Mpumalanga province of South Africa. And these are tribes such as Bakwena, Bahuruti, Bakhatla, Bafokeng, Bakubung, Bapiring, and this is just a few of them. On the western side of South Africa, near towns such as Mahikeng, Lichtenburg, Sannieshof, Delareyville, you would find Barolong in the most, but also other tribes like Bakolobeng, for instance. One thing to note about Barolong is that they are not one tribe per se. There are Barolombo Ratsidi, Barolombo Rapulana, Barolombo Ratlou, Barolombo Silike, and I believe somebody may comment on the comment section to give us a full list of Barolong. The chiefs who started each of these tribes were born of the same person. Near Vryburg, mainly in the area that surround the town of Taung, you would find the tribe known as Batlaping. But as you go further, you would find other tribes there in the Northern Cape, such as Batlaro and so on. The tribe of Batlaping has subdivisions according to chiefdoms, similar to Barolo, and overall they occupy around 120 villages. So they are a big tribe, as you can see. In essence, there are tribes in the north, those are tribes in Botswana, in the south, in the east, and the west. Take note here, I did not mention all the tribes because they are too many to mention. They will need a separate lesson. However, this is how we are going to group them for this presentation. The tribes that have been mentioned thus far have their own dialects, based on whether they are in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west, and also based on who they interacted with historically. So let us look at some notable distinctions in Setswana. Remember, these are distinctions in the tribal way of speaking. They do not affect the whole language. I want us to start in the north of the river Molopo, and let us take the Sengwato dialect, the dialect of Bangwato. In this example, you will notice that the pronunciation of the letters TL, which is called similar to CL in English, in the word clean and so on. Not entirely the same, but very similar. So you would have the sound and another sound which is the same sound as but with an aspiration. So with the first sound, the TL sound, which mostly in South Africa you would just say, Bangwatu would use a T, a simple T, and say T. And for the aspirated sound, they would use a TH, which is T. So it is T with an aspiration, T. Let us look at these examples. The word letapa would be pronounced as letapa. That means stone. Furthermore, the word tola would be tola, and that is jump. Toho is toho, that is head. Tapa would be tapa, and that is bath. That is the main difference. As you can see, the words are similar. Tlola, tola, tlhogo, thogo, thapa, thapa. These are similar words, but they sound differently because of the region. That is the main distinction between Setswana spoken in Botswana and that spoken in South Africa. At times, seeing that Sengwato is so prominent in Botswana, it sounds as if Setswana spoken in Botswana is a different language from that spoken in South Africa. But when you look at it, it is just the same. Just that more people tend to speak Sengwato in Botswana, while that is not the case in South Africa. Another feature of Setswana is spoken in the north of Molopo, but also shared by the Serolong, which is the dialect of Barolong, Setlaping, the dialect of Batlaping, and Setlharo, the dialect of Batlharo. Is that words that are normally pronounced with an F in other dialects are pronounced with an H. Here are some examples there. As you will see, fela is hela. That means to end or to finish. Feta is heta. That is to go past something or someone or to go through it. Morafe would be morahe. That means tribe. Mafulo, mahulo. That is grazing fields. So basically the F is replaced by the H. The words are the same. Another feature, especially shared by the Setlaping and Setlharo, is that the TS sound, which is T, adopt the Ch sound, the CH sound, Ch. So in this dialect, Tshwara would be Chwara. So in other dialects, when they say Tshwara, these ones would say Chwara. That means to hold, to catch, or even to touch. Setshwantsho would be Setshwantsho, and that means picture. So now on the eastern side, what are the distinctive features of the dialects there? Here, it does not mean that these distinctive features apply to all the eastern dialects, but it does to most of them. The first distinction comes in the fact that, for one, the J sound becomes bia. There is a B in front of the J, and the J adopts the Y sound. So, an example would be jana, which is what I normally teach here. In the eastern side, that would be biana. That means like this when you show somebody. Jalo would be biao, like that. Sejana is sebiana, that is dish. Bojalwa, biala, that is beer. So it's jana, biana, jalo, biao, sebiana, biala. A knowledgeable person may have already noticed that this sounds more like Northern Sesotho or Sepedi as most call it. That is because the eastern Setswana tribes are close to the Limpopo province, where you find Sepedi speaking people. Another thing is that when speaking about the future in the eastern dialects, you would not say ka to denote the future tense or to denote shall or will. They would say to, so it won't be tla but to. O tla boa, becomes o tlo bua. He or she will return. Ke tla botsa becomes now ke tlo botsa. I will ask. As can be seen up to this point, the differences in the dialects cannot hinder a person from hearing what the speaker is saying. If you understand Setswana, you would still understand people who speak other dialects. The sentence structure is not changed from dialect to dialect. In fact, it remains consistent with the sentence structure of many Bantu languages across Africa. The classes of nouns, for instance, stay the same across the dialects. This being the case, it means that the different tribes can understand each other. It does not mean that you will not be understood if you have learned one dialect and find yourself in an area that speaks another dialect. Ke tshepa o tlhalogantse. Se go fala.